Imagine you are sailing through the Arctic. See nothing but endless ice. Then, coming out of the fog, you see a ship. No smoke. No crew. No lights. Just a steel cargo ship, drifting completely alone. You board it. The cargo is still there. Cabins are left untouched. Everything looks as if the crew had only just left. But no one has lived there for decades. This isn't a legend. It actually happened. The ship's name was SS Baychimo. And for almost 40 years, it refused to disappear or sink. Before becoming one of history's most famous ghost ships, Baychimo was completely ordinary. She wasn't even built as Baychimo. She was launched in Sweden in 1914 under a different name, Angemanolfen. The steel cargo steamer measured around 230 feet in length. It weighed over 1,300 tons and was powered by a triple expansion steam engine capable of around 10 knots. Her job was simple: carry cargo between two countries, Germany and Sweden. But history had other plans. When World War I ended, Germany was forced to hand over ships as war reparations. And one of them was this one. In 1921, the Hudson's Bay Company bought her, renamed her Baychimo, and sent her to the Canadian Arctic, where every summer she carried supplies to remote settlements, then came back loaded with valuable furs. Over the next decade, Baychimo proved herself again and again. She sailed from her home port in Scotland all the way to Siberia, to Alaska, to the Yukon. She even passed through the Panama Canal and the Suez Canal. 9 times she made the journey north and came back safe. 9 times, nothing went wrong. For almost a decade, everything went exactly according to plan, until one voyage changed everything. In late September 1931, Baychimo had just finished another trading season. Her holds were full of valuable furs, and she started the long journey south. But winter came early that year. On October 1st, the ship got trapped in thick Arctic ice near the northern coast of Alaska. For 2 days, the crew waited it out. Then the ice shifted, and the Baychimo broke free. It looked like the crisis was over and they were coming home. It wasn't. Only a week later, the ship was trapped again. This time, far worse. The ice wouldn't let go, it wouldn't shift. The Hudson's Bay Company realized the crew might be stuck for the entire winter. A plane was sent north. 22 crew members were evacuated. But 15 men, including the captain, stayed behind. They had built a wooden shelter on shore, hoping the ship could still break free before winter closed in completely. They waited. And waited. But then everything changed. On November 24th, a massive Arctic blizzard hit. Visibility dropped to almost nothing. For days, the crew could do nothing but wait inside their shelter and hope the blizzard will pass. When the storm finally passed, they looked out at the sea. The Baychimo was gone. The captain assumed what was obvious. The ice must have crushed her. She'd sunk beneath the frozen ocean. It was over. Or so they believed. A few days later, an Inuit seal hunter showed up with news that no one had expected. He'd seen the ship. Not underwater. Not destroyed. It was floating. 45 miles away, completely intact. That was how the ghost ship story began. Over the next few decades, the Baychimo became almost impossible to explain. She kept drifting across the Arctic waters. Sometimes trapped in ice. Sometimes completely free. Hunters saw her. Whalers reported her. And merchant ships ran into her. Several people even boarded the abandoned vessel. Inside, they found cabins, cargo, equipment, still largely untouched and in good condition. More than once, people considered towing her back, or salvaging her steel. Every attempt failed. Sometimes the weather turned dangerous. Sometimes the ice closed in again. Sometimes she simply drifted off before anyone could return. almost like the Arctic itself refused to let anyone keep her. Year after year, she was spotted again. And again. And again. No crew. No owner. No destination. Just drifting aimlessly across the Arctic waters. In March 1932, a trapper heading to Nome by dog sled came across her, trapped in ice in the Beaufort Sea. He climbed aboard. A year later, in March 1933, a group of Alaska natives boarded the Baychimo. Then a storm hit. They were trapped on the ship for 10 days before the weather finally let them leave. That same summer, a Scottish botanist named Isabel Wiley Hutchison boarded her too, during an Arctic wildflower expedition. At the same time, another group of Inupiat rowed out and boarded her as well. They took mattresses, chairs, whatever they could carry. The last time anyone climbed aboard was November 1939. A captain named Hugh Polson tried to salvage her for good. But the ice closed in again. He had to give up and leave her behind. Years passed. Then, in March 1962, a group of Inuit spotted her again, drifting along the Beaufort Sea coast. Still no crew. Still no answers. After that, no one would ever board the Baychimo again. The last officially recorded sighting was in 1969. An Inuit group found the Baychimo once more. Still drifting through Arctic ice. Still abandoned. Still somehow afloat 38 years after her crew left her behind. Then she vanished for good. No sighting since. No distress signal. No wreckage. No final report. Nothing. The Baychimo just disappeared. So what actually happened to the Baychimo? No one knows for sure. The simplest explanation is that at some point, she finally sank beneath the Arctic ice. But no wreck has ever been confirmed or found. In 2006, search efforts were launched to try and find the famous ghost ship. Despite modern technology, the Baychimo has never been located. One historian, Anthony Dalton, spent years studying her case. His theory is that the current and winds of the Beaufort and Chukchi seas kept her drifting for decades before she finally went under. There are also an estimated 4,000 ships lost somewhere along the Alaskan coast. Baychimo may just be one more, hidden among thousands of others no one has ever found. Is she somewhere beneath the Arctic? Buried under shifting ice? Or maybe still floating somewhere out there? No one knows exactly. Her final resting place remains unknown. Thousands of ships have sunk throughout history. Many disappeared without explanation. But almost none kept sailing, alone, for nearly 4 decades. No supernatural crew. No pirate legend. Just an abandoned cargo ship that refused to sink. Maybe, somewhere beneath the Arctic, Baychimo is still waiting to be found. Or maybe the ocean decided to keep one mystery forever. So what do you think really happened? Let us know in the comments. And if you want more stories like this one, subscribe to my YouTube channel and we'll see you in the next one.